else in the audience that wasn't on the agenda that would like to speak?
Down at the Big Ugly Community Center neighborhood watch meeting last week, they were asking for an update on the radios that they have ordered. But the issue with the four-wheelers and the helmets and children on four-wheelers to come up to be a constant problem. They want to keep reminding you guys of that they need help down there. And also they're seeing lots of packs on weekends of 20, 30 riders going through all the time, and cars are having to slam on the brakes because these guys are popping out of the woods, going over the 25-mile-an-hour speed limits that they're supposed to be adhering to, and they're very concerned about safety and uninsured riders down there because they don't want to be stuck if they hit a four-wheeler and the four-wheeler hits them, that they're going to be stuck with the brake because they're not insured. So they're really looking for some help down there to address the four-wheeler issue. I know we said we all ride them and we all have them, and parents should be responsible for the children, but they're not seeing that down there, and they need help either from the Sheriff's Department or from the Commission to try to enforce some rules down there because they're feeling, people are afraid to go on the roads because these packs are out on weekends tearing up the roads down there. So that was the issue I wanted to bring up. And also people riding around without helmets down there as well. But they'd like an update on the radios that they've ordered. I don't know if I can do it afterwards.
Yeah. I'll be meeting with Alan this afternoon on some other issues, so we'll see where we're at.
Anyone else? Commission concerns, Commissioner Vance?
I'm going to bring this. The Commission received a letter from Alice Thomas, who's the director of the Lee County Opportunity Company, concerning their ability to provide, continue to maintain the meals program at the Corporal Center. They felt it's continued to do well, but they're running low on funds. They basically said we could provide meals this month, but only by offsetting the costs through other funds, which are also quickly running out. Therefore, we are requesting $5,500 to help support this program through the remainder of 2012 as well as 2013. I think it's important. I don't know the exact numbers. I know we went through those numbers before as far as how many people are receiving the meals and things like this, but it's kind of hard, when you get in a situation where you're providing something that's as necessary as a meal, all of a sudden just cut it off to those people that have been receiving those things and depending upon those things. Of course, then again, sometimes you got to look at what those costs are and things of that nature. But I think if you're going to get into a situation where people are going to depend upon you to bring the nutrition to them or to have some place to go to get that you probably ought to do that if you're going to cut it out in kind of a stepwise manner, or at least give them some warning that that's going to happen. So I think as we all know, there's nothing more important than a good nutritious meal. And some of these people don't get it. They don't get it unless they get them there. So it would be my intention, I'm sure the other commissioners agree, that we need to go ahead and continue to support this program.
Oh, Lawrence, Sharon, how many are you serving there now? 14. Is that pretty consistent?
Do you all feel this needs to continue too?
Well, the ones that didn't come there and get it, they're faithfully come here and
You agree, Lawrence?
Yeah, I do.
Well, and I think too, with what's going on at the Corporal Center, that's going to become a much busier place, and probably more people may get more involved in things like that there. So,
okay, we put it on the next agenda.
yeah, and what we'll do is we'll work on this at our next meeting to try to see if we can get them some help.
I don't know how much we spent before, but I think it might be that much or more.
The only other thing I have is I've talked to some of the people on 9 Mile, which this project would have nothing to do with my water, so I don't want people to think I'm trying to get myself water. But I'd like to be able. I'd like to maybe send a letter to the branch of Meekwood PSD and see exactly where 9 Mile is on their program there, because the same problems that existed on 10 Mile exist on 9 Mile. I mean, there's just across the river from each other. And there's quite a few homes up through there. They all, I don't know if all of them have trouble with the water, but everyone I talked to has problems with the water. And they were under the impression that they were on the list and this and that, and didn't know where they were at, and I don't know where they're at either. And so what I told them I would do is come and ask the commission if we could contact Branch Davidia PSD, get us a status on 9 Mile, and then if we need to have more numbers as far as households served and things like that, if that hasn't been done, I think we need to look at that and see if we can see wherever they are in the process. And if they're not in the process, we need to try to get them in the process of getting water up there. But like I told them, I haven't talked with anybody at Branch Davidia PSD in a while, so I don't really know where the 9 Mile project is. But I would like to ask the commission if we could send them a letter just to get us an update on that project.
Maybe invite them to be at the next meeting to give us a.
It's about, they haven't been here in a while, have they? So maybe we can just have them come over and talk to us about where they're at with all the projects. And I think the 10 Mile project's pretty well. They're putting in meters now and things like that. So I know that project it's been 11 years and it's coming since I've been here. So it's those people are really happy to be getting the water with us.
The people on Francis Creek have the same questions. And I've missed a couple of the meetings and I didn't know what to tell them. That apparently the water goes over so far and then it stopped. And people past there want to know if they're going to get the water too.
They're in, Logan PSD has that project and they are doing preliminary work. I think someone or maybe a couple of people had called Senator Kirkendall. He called me yesterday, matter of fact, and was telling me that he had some inquiries about it and he was going to get with the people who, they're trying to get under a small city block grant to study it. He was going to get with them and let us know what the results of that. Well, it's definitely a project that's somewhere in the making, but there's no money yet. But he was going to work on that.
And when I talked with Senator Kirkendall last week, that was a subject we talked about, is finding the status of that project and things like that. So I think he's kind of working hard to figure out what exactly we need to do with that or where it's at in the process.
But right now, no money's been appropriated to finish that?
No.
Okay.
The application's been in.
Application.
And Logan
I know
PSD
that
has that.
takes time, you know. But
Yeah, well, it does.
So,
Just, yeah. And they look at it, and that project there, not to say it's more important than 9 Mile, but it's in a different PSD, but the coal company up there is at odds with some of the neighbors of because of the issues of mining the coal and all those things that go with it, that they do have some well issues and water contamination issues that the Logan PSD said they were aware of. So I think it may get a little priority, but not slow down.
So, Commissioner Brandon?
No, not really, just what you just discussed, people, talking about the water and this, that, and the other. Want to know where the status was, and actually, well, I attended the Hearts Fire Department, like the 40th anniversary thing, and it went good, got to meet some people in the community that didn't really know, but not just from our community, but really people from all over the county came to it, so I thought it was a real good thing. Seemed like they had some good safety tips for the kids and this, that, and the other, and I seemed to enjoy myself too. So
I seen that in the paper, and there's a gentleman that used to live in that community. He's deceased now. His wife still is alive, but doesn't live right there. I was on the county commission in RFI. I had just become principal at Harts High School in '72, and the people there he came to me and said, "We got to get money to county commission. We're going to try to help get some volunteer fire departments started." And so Boyce Lucas, who's not with us anymore, and Carl Mitchell, and Charles Brunfield, and Don Jones, and myself, there were several people in the community got together. And Don agreed to let us have his old station to get started in and have a place to meet and all that kind of stuff. So I really had forgotten about it. When I seen that in the paper, I started thinking about, I just reminisce sometimes. But it's one of those things that, I'd never fooled with before at all, but some of the people who were there were miners photographer, I was a minor, that knew a lot of things about safety and what to deal with and things. And it was interesting, and one of those things that I learned from. And at the time, I thought, well, I don't know where and how we can get enough volunteers, enough money to make things happen. Because, you know, the first old truck we bought was probably 30 years old. It was almost given to us. And but it is one of those things that you never know in a community until you do what you think needs to be done for your community, and it may grow, it may not. Just like April's project here, you don't know what's going to happen, but if you don't try and do something that's good, you'll never know. So it's one of those things that it's good for that community, it's good for all the communities.
And one of the things, you know, Rick, I know you were at the fire department up there, and you know, we were talking about these problems with the kids and the ATVs and things like that. You know, kids really listen to firefighters. I mean, they really think they're cool. They really think they're, you know, if you talk, now they may be scared of a policeman, but when it's a firefighter, I don't know, they're just the kids develop with them. When I talk to them as patients and when kids, you know, you'd be amazed how many really like a firefighter. You know, they really would like to be a firefighter. But I'm just wondering if maybe, and you could talk with the people at the fire department and maybe Mr. Oldacker, all the rest of them can kind of look at, when you have meetings of the communities, just like this anniversary they had in Horace, maybe we could do like April does and teach a little ATV safety here, and not only have, you know, I know she does it in school and things like that, but if we got our fire people teaching it, I know the kids pay more attention to what you guys say than especially what I say. But I mean, I think they really pay more attention to people that are out there risking their life. You know, they look, you guys write these, go ahead, April.
Well, I was going to say, I don't have to be the one teaching that. Firefighters can be 4-H volunteers too. I'd be more than happy to pass that nationally approved curriculum to anybody who wants to teach
Rick
it.
may want to do that. I think he might want to. I was just thinking that, you know, if we can do this as a community in every area and get those people that really, that these kids look up to, then they'll have maybe a little, you know, I talk to them every time I meet one. You know, the place I live, I run into 25, 30 different four-wheelers at a time and things like you're talking about. And I have seen, seems like more kids have helmets now. I mean, I just kind of noticed this. In general, I noticed they have more helmets, seem like. And they have their system of signaling each other when vehicles are around. I mean, they seem to work that out pretty well and things. But, and maybe when Hatfield McCoy trail systems open, they'll utilize those trail systems. We won't see so much. But, you know, we have hundreds on the ridge where I live every weekend. And most of them are really nice people, and you know, some of them are partiers and drunks. I mean, that's just what you run into in situations like that. And you won't get those on Hatfield McCoy because they have the rangers watch for that. So we may see more of a skewed direction in the other direction. But I think maybe even having law enforcement at some of these things to talk to them about it too. But I just think firefighters have a unique situation where they could get a bunch of kids around and say, hey, look, you know, it's really bad for you to do this. And as much as they respect you guys, it makes it a lot easier for you to get them to be compliant with what you're talking about. So I just think it's something, and I don't know, you know, if I know y'all don't have a lot of time to do things, but I think in situations where you do get together as a group and invite the community in, it may take a half an hour, it may not, you know, and while the parents are doing something else, you can get the kids over and say, hey, we want to talk to you about, you know, wearing helmets and things like that, and not getting on paved roads and four-wheelers and things of that nature. But I just think it might be something that you guys could. And I know we got a problem at Hearts. I mean, I see them going across the bridge on wheelies on four-wheelers across the main bridge at Hearts. But then again, you know, that comes under the auspices of the state police and the sheriff's department to look at that. You know, we don't enforce the laws as a commission, but everyone that's charged with enforcing laws should enforce the laws that are in existence. And because if you don't, there's no need to pass another law because they say, "Oh, we don't have to even go with this law. Why do we need to go with another law?" And but I just kind of think maybe if and you guys can talk among yourself as a firefighter association, and I was also going to approach the EMS people and talk to them because I think every time if we've got people that these kids respect that are saying the same thing, they're going to say, well, there's probably something to this, you know, it's probably what, and they don't want to run into you out on the road knowing you've been teaching them to wear helmets, you not have one, because that's what I do. When I have one of my kids, I say, you wear a helmet when then I catch them out, and I'll just pull up beside them and say, hey, what are you doing? Where's your helmet at? you know, and be nice to them.
Right.
But they know every time they see me, I'm gonna ask them about it. And I think if we all kind of get into that, encouraging them to do that, and especially people that they really respect, I think it's gonna make a big difference. Now, we're not gonna get to everybody, but there's gonna be a group of kids that want to do right, that will do right. And it just takes a little encouragement, I think.
You're right about the fire department people.
If I may, as the commission knows, Harts Volunteer Fire Department has the only ATV rescue vehicle in the county. We were the first to get that, and we probably could have done a program like that's a good idea, and I'll take it back and we'll entertain trying to do that, and also take it to the Lincoln County Fire Association, see if we can maybe get that county-wide. We did have our ATV rescue vehicle used that day. We used it for a hayride for the kids, and the drivers and the riders that were actually in the ATV were required to wear helmets, so they know, you know, the kids that were riding in the back and the parents that were with them. So that's kind of a start, but I think the education
Right.
thing.
And you could also, Hatfield McCoy has a program too, that they'll come down and talk to the kids. They went to the Hearts Clinic, and we had one of our health fairs and talked to them and things. So they have people that will instruct people too. So and I know they're really willing to help. They really are big into that. So if you need resources from them, I'm sure they would help. I know April's into it, and April can go in on
We've been
it.
approved to put kids on ATVs and run them through an actual hands-on riding course. Cabell County has ATV machines on trailers, and we've been trying to put classes together, just haven't had people sign up for them. And getting the word out is also difficult, but those resources are available, and we can make those available. We just need to see people signed up and need to know where to take stuff to. But I would also suggest a helmet drop-off. There's a lot of kids who can't afford helmets. And, you know, just because a helmet's been outgrown doesn't mean that it's not still a good helmet. They can be looked at by somebody who's approved to look at those and redistributed back out into the community to kids who may not be able to afford one. So EMS and fire department would be wonderful places to set something up like the Marines do with the Toys for Tots. You guys could be firemen for helmets. You know, something like that. Come up with a little catchy phrase in a box to put that stuff in, and you know, what a great thing to be able to do for kids who don't have those kind of things.
Okay, good discussion.
I just wanted to tell you, I went through the smoke trailer with a bunch of children, and it was very educational, and it was really exciting to see the children get into that, and they learned about, you know, all the hazards. And I don't know who the man was that did the actual tour from the fire department. He did a great job.
It was Chief Jason Moore was one of them, and also the acting chief of Main Hearts.
It was him.
Maverick Adams, I don't know his real name.
Maverick.
He's Maverick.
It's really cool. And I mean, are you all the only ones that have that too?
No, that's actually a state asset that's kept down here in the southern part of the state, and it goes from county to county for different training and different events like this. And we've had that the last 2 years. We've had our open house.
That trailer's a teaching thing.
It is, and it's set up just like a home. It's got a kitchen and a bathroom and a living room and a bedroom, and it's got speakers inside, and it's filled with smoke, you know, smoke from a smoke machine, and they're taught what to do and how to get out of the house. And
Yeah, they finally got me to do that, but I was ready to get out when
yeah, it's a little confining if you're not used to it.
And even about kitchen safety, that was really good, because that's something kids aren't taught, you know, about the pot handles and the burners and things. So it was really good. The kids had a ball climbing out the window down the ladder. So
Well, I know definitely the kids definitely listen.
Yeah.
Dr. Lang says, when you all was down there a week or so ago, maybe down to school,
Right.
you know, I had 40 firefighters all of a sudden on my bus, you know, kind of all in their little red helmets, and they tell you stuff, and they really pay attention. So it would really, I think, would be a good thing if you all could get something like that.
they get excited when that fire truck.
Yes, they do.
Just a couple items. One, we did have our Tri-River Transit meeting this week, and I was able to attend, which was yesterday morning. When you get back from vacation, it's hard to get up and start the next morning. You get serious about things, but I managed to do it. I did want to thank whomever the domestic violence people. That's an issue that sometimes we hear about every day, I think. Being here at the courthouse with the family court system, it's always an issue. I've seen the purple flags at the entry to the high school, and a couple articles about it. It's just one of those things that we need to, I think, thank those people who do step up and volunteer to bring focus to this, because it's something we definitely seems to be getting bigger, worse, or whatever the word is. And the other issue was the dumpsters. I seen in the paper we did get a little grant to do some issues, and have we gotten any further along getting the dumpsters out through the county?
Yes, I got the dates in there on my desk, but we have one scheduled this Saturday, I think maybe at Ranger.
Did they advertise it?
Yes, it's supposed to be in the paper. If it's not this Saturday, then
I
it's
hadn't
next
seen
Saturday.
anything.
If you,
I think we ran an ad last week.
yes.
I've been gone, Jim.
Then we're going, let's see, we're gonna have two in November. I think it's gonna be at Griffithsville and maybe Harts. And then I think one more this, before winter sets in, and then pick back up in the spring.
Well, a lot of people want that done, so.
May I add? This is not for computers, TVs, so forth and so on, as they had over at the high school. That was really great.
It
That
is
one-
for that.
all right,
These
good.
are for
That is-
computers, televisions.
Very good.
Anything that you can get in the
That's a
dumpster,
special
not
grant.
household garbage.
That's true. A lot of people have TVs and so
Right.
forth. Something
And
they want.
then, I think in April, they have a tire collection down to the poor farm, when they have the dumpsters here for Hannah. But, Maureen did say that, they have received a $20,000 grant. I think 11,000 of it can be used for the dumpsters, and then the commission will pay the remaining, that comes up to $20,000.
Sharpie, Miss Sharpie, you got any comments on that, or discussed it any at all?
No, Maureen was asking before about maybe putting some dumpsters down at the Lions Club, and I told her, I said, well, you're gonna have to take it up with them yourself, because I said we had such a hassle the last time getting the garbage company to get those things out of there. We almost had to station somebody down there at the gate to stop people from dumping stuff after it was over with, so that they could get the area cleaned up. I mean, they were just dragging their feet.
Well, that happens, I think, everywhere. Somebody has to maintain some kind of surveillance around it or something.
I mean, it's like the company, you hire them to do it, to bring them out, and they like run over everybody on the road getting them out there. But then when it comes time to take them away, they just drag their feet.
If you get the residents in the area in the dump mode, they don't want to stop.
I think
And they keep bringing it until those bins are gone. She said she's gonna have them again back at the Lions Club, but she hadn't had it scheduled yet.
I think we do have that scheduled, but I can't tell. I've got it on my desk. Yeah.
One last thing I forgot to mention, the Lincoln County Fairgrounds is having a Halloween spectacular on the 27th from 4 to 10, free for everybody, hay rides and stuff for kids.
When is it?
On Saturday the 27th from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. They want me to make sure I invite everyone as well. At the Lincoln County Fairgrounds. 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. Lincoln County Fairgrounds Halloween Spooktacular, they're calling it. Hay rides, food, prizes, costume contest, games. Should be a good time.
free.
All free.
Oh, I thought-
Free candy. Oh, you're supposed to bring a bag of candy, but
Yeah.
if you can, you can. If you can't, so be it.
Make note, public testing of the machines, October 19th
That's tomorrow,
and the 26th.
next one.
And the first one is for early voting, or is that just all, what are we testing? Early voting. Early voting.
Yes, and
Just
then
early voting.
early voting tomorrow, then the election day on the 26th.
What time?
At 10 both that,
At the annex.
yeah, but there's elections.
Anything else? Not, motion to adjourn until November 1.
So
Motion second, stand adjourned, 11:30.